everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am filming my March wrap up, which is over now. March lasted too long and I ended up reading 28 books in March, so it's a good number. I read much more than I thought I would and I'm going to try to talk about them. A lot of the books I read for other vlogs, so I will like refer to them because I don't want to sit here for like 16 years. And I think I calculated my page count, but my journal is not here, so I'm too lazy to check. It was like 8,800 something pages, not including audiobooks. And yeah, without further ado, let's talk about the books I read in March. So I read Spiffle books in March. I read all of them. So I have 2 Spiffle books up on my channel where you get non-spoiler thoughts of me starting and like finishing them. So I kind of reviewed them all there. I am still like going to mention what I read in them here and like what I thought about them. So the first book I read was The 13th Hour by Trudy Skies. It seems such a long time since I read this. But this is set in this world where we have this clock tower, and every hour that clock tower strikes, you can go into a different world because all these worlds are connected to this clock tower. And every world has its own god and its own species. And the gods are like terrible to the people they are ruling or controlling. They can control them. And then we follow this group of people that call on the godless and never pray to the gods because they can actually hear them and trying to like take power away from the gods, and then other things happens as well. It's like kind of a simple way to explain it, but I don't know what else to say. It is not like an amazing book. I think it's like a bit of a mess, and it reminds me a lot of Arcane, which is like the League of Legends animation show, which is amazing, but it has a lot of similarities to that show. And but I enjoyed Arcane more, I guess. I don't think it's like amazingly written. Not Arcane, I mean The 13th Hour. And it made it hard to follow the story. And especially some parts I was just like, really? You know? And like every time they were going to do something, they annoyed me. So like I didn't end up loving it actually a lot. I think it ended up like a 3-star in like a rating. But in the rating sheet it became something else. I will leave a link to that down below if you want to check it out. Then I read A Song for the Void by Andrew C. Piazza. This one was also a Spiffle book. And this one follows this English man who is in China, and then I don't even know, they're gonna stop like Chinese pirates or something, and then they like come over this, I don't even know what they come over. Okay, something happens, the weird stuff starts happening on the ship, and that's it. It's kind of like a horror in a way. It's not really a fantasy either. And I really like was intrigued in the beginning, like the first 200 pages had me, and then I got super bored. So I didn't really love this one either, even though like I think it had some compelling parts. And I think I ended up giving this, I rounded it up to 3, but it's more like 2.5, I think. But yeah, again, more thoughts in the vlogs. Then I read A Touch of Light by Tiago Abdallah, and this one is like a high fantasy where we follow different perspectives, and in this world, at least the royals, they don't die, so they live for a long time. So like the enemy is death, and I'm actually unsure if common people don't die either. It was a very confusing book where you kind of don't know what's going on. You kind of just go for vibes, but it was written really, really well, and it was really, really fascinating. And I don't know, really, really liking this one, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. But could I tell you, like, could I describe this book? Do you know? But I thought it was really good, and I'm curious to see what happened in the sequel. I liked it, so that counts. Then I read Scales and Sensibility by Stephanie Burians. This one is kind of like I don't even know if you can call it Victorian England, maybe. Like Bridgerton England. And all the ladies that are going to debut have like the dragons on like their shoulders, really like trendy and cool. And then we have a main character who is, parents has died and she's living with like extended family. And then the daughter in the extended family has gotten a dragon and treated it horribly, so she saved the dragon by leaving with it. And then she magically gets this other body so that she can go back to the house and try to like help this dude marry her cousin or whatever. And it's actually really funny and sweet. It is exactly what I thought it would be. I really like how it was written. I really like the humor. I liked that the story knew what it was doing. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid one, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, 3.5. But I rounded it up to 4. In between here, I did read a comic, but I'm just gonna go through all the Spiffle book first, and then we'll go back. So then I read Umbral Storm by Alex Huston. This one was my favorite Spiffle book of all of them. I love this completely. It is like very typical. They like have all the like typical tropes, but I just loved it a lot. So in this world, you can have different shards, and the more shards you have, the more powerful you are. But not everyone can carry shards. Only like shard bearers can have them, and our main character finds out that he's a shard bearer. I mean, we have several point of views, but I feel like he's the main character. And then he goes to like this school where like they can teach each other with the shards, and it's like very like typical things happening. like the plot twist and like the political landscape is like set up in a way that you can't predict like what's going to happen. I just loved it so much. I love how it was written. I loved finding out about charts. I was just so engaged in the story. I think it gave me like 4.5, but I rounded it up to 5 on Goodreads. I rated one higher because it was a like overall like a higher rating. But like this like stands as my favorite in my heart, even though it didn't get the highest rating for me, just because how the rating thing works. But like it was my favorite for me, and I really loved it. And I wanted to read the sequel, but it's not out yet, so I need to wait. But I really enjoyed it. This is like I think one I would want to buy a physical copy of. Then I read Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care of Feeding of British Dragons by Queen Bee Olsen. So this one follows like a older main character. She's like in her 40s, and she's living like with her sister. That she's basically living there as they're like the teacher and the governess for children, even though like she was only going to visit. And then she inherits this stuff from her granduncle, and in there is a dragon egg, and she suddenly has a dragon that she needs to take care of, but she doesn't really know how. And then all people start to steal the dragon. I did like this. It had like interesting parts. There was just too much like breaking the fourth wall, which I enjoy, but too much like stuff you don't care about when she broke the fourth wall. And I like feel like our character, while she was like in her 40s, acted like she was like 16, and I was like meh. So I like, and the conflict was just like meh, I don't care. So what I cared about was the dragon, but it wasn't enough of that. But it was still like interesting parts, and maybe I would read the sequel, but I didn't love it. I think I gave it like 3 stars, maybe. Yeah, 2.5 stars is little. 3 stars. Then I read Small Miracles by Olivia Atwater. This one became like the highest rated one of all of them, and I didn't even expect to like this. I had this as like my lowest prediction of all of them, and I absolutely loved it. It was so good. So in this we follow like a angel who has kind of given up and like, I was not gonna say left God, but more like is not working directly for God anymore. And then they give me this task to take this woman's sin meter down because she has like 1 billion like plus points. This other angel wants this sin meter to go like 20 points down, and it's like impossible because that person is just so good. And then like other stuff happens to like figure out why, etc. And it sounds a bit weird, but it was just so good. It was written so well, the build-up was so good, just how it came together was just so wholesome and amazing, and it was amazing. I don't know, I guess I got a 5 star. I don't even know. Did I get the Umbral Storm 4 stars then? I don't know what I rounded up and down for on Goodreads and stuff, but it doesn't really matter. But I was just so pleasantly surprised by Small Miracles. I would want to read it again, and it just had the best time with like how it was. I described it really badly here, but I did it better in the vlog, so watch that. I then read Mysterious Ways, which follows this captain of the guard that like has like cat and mouse thing with this other person. I can't remember the name of anyone. And in this world they're like demons, and they follow this goddess, and there's also demons there and stuff. And then she's like arrested people for a really, really long time and assumed that they would get like a fair hearing from this like judge creature. But it turns out that that judge creature just sends everyone to hell, and then she's like trying to make amends in a way, or she realizes this. It was like an interesting concept here, but I feel like things weren't explained that well, and like I feel like the characters were really boring. So I just didn't love how things turned out, and I was just like, this is too easy. I didn't love this, but I didn't hate it either. Like you got into it after a while, so I gave it like 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Fire of the Forebears by L.A. Buck. This one was my least favorite of all of the Spitful books. And don't really remember anything that happens. Like I kind of just delete books I don't enjoy that much for my brain because there's too much stuff in there. I think it's like rebels trying to take back this kingdom from a dude that already stole the kingdom some years ago because he was in another rebellion before like the son, like so the prince, and someone else was kind of involved with the rebels in a way that also has special abilities. Animals can talk, but it's not Narnia. I just didn't like how the story was set up. I didn't like how it was written. I don't remember more. I give it like 2 out of 5 stars. And then the last Spitful book was Tethered Spirits by T.A. Hernandez. And in this one, we have our main character who keeps dying and coming back to life. But every time he does that, he doesn't remember everything like before he died. So like every time he wakes up, he's kind of a new person, or like doesn't remember who he's supposed to be. And then we are like trying to find out how to break this curse. And then we have different characters. We have one of them who's hunting him because she believes that he's the cure for this thing. I did end up liking it. I thought it was really original and cool. I liked the characters and how the story was set up, and I liked how it was written. I just like wasn't blown away, and I was in the end, I don't remember why, but I was just like I felt okay about it. I don't know if I rounded up to 4 or 3 at this point actually. It feels like a 3 now, but I might have given it a 4 on Goodreads at the time. It was okay. So again, I talked really fast about this. But I'm gonna do that anyway with all of these. Check out the vlogs, the Spitful vlogs. I will link them down below. I have 2 parts. And you can hear more thoughts if you want to, if you care. Yay. Now for all the things I read in between. I read Sunstone Volume 7, which is the latest one out. Which is the second one in the Mercy arc. I thought that these were done now. Like, I thought we were done forever. I don't know why. But there's more coming in the Mercy arc, I think. Which is kind of like prequels to tell the story of like these other people that are there. So I do enjoy these. I enjoy this story arc more than like how I like the last arc and like the ending of that. Like, I like the ending, but the middle part was annoying. And yeah, they're fun. They are really sexual. I like them for that reason alone, and they're a good time. I don't know what more to say, but I'm excited for more. I think more is another volume coming later this year. And I read Land of the Lustrous, Volume 6 by Haruko Ichikawa. And it follows these crystal-like people that can break over and over. And now we have these Lunarians that hunt them and want their pieces. But we don't really know why and where anyone came from. I enjoy the manga a lot. And I enjoy finding out stuff. And like meet the different crystal people, etc. But at this point, it was just become a bit repetitive. We go around, foster something stupid, someone gets captured and they get attacked. They go around, they get attacked. They go around, they get attacked. It's like the same over and over, and it's gotten a bit like repetitive. I'm like, I want to start to develop more, and right now it's not developing at all. We just have like the same over and over and over. So Foss is just stupid in every scenario. She's stupid, so I'd want more to see. I'm obviously going to still finish it and enjoy like the whole concept. I just want to start to develop. And then inside there somewhere, I apparently finished The Hero of Ages by Magnus Hansen. This was a reread, obviously, and I reread it with Erica on audio. She ended up not liking this at all. I don't want to be her friend anymore, but obviously it's one of my favorite series. I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, this is my 3rd time reading it. I knew what was coming, but I love it all dearly. I love how the answers come together. First one is my favorite, but I love them. I give 5 out of 5 stars, and yeah, I love the answers we get in this. But then I also know it's like this area is over and it's my favorite ever, so it's bad, but it's still a good time to read. Then I read Monstress Volume 7 by Majori Liu and Sana Takeda, and I enjoyed this story and of all whatever's going on here. It follows our main character who like has like a monster creature thing inside of her. Then there's war everywhere, and honestly I'm so confused in every volume of who is who and which faction belongs to who. At this point it's just like vibes. I don't understand the overarching plot even. Like, I don't know what's going on, and I feel like I haven't known since like many volumes ago, and I've read them all like pretty like close together like the other volumes, but now at this point I'm just like, what is going on? And like obviously it's a long time between each volume for me because I don't read them as like the chapters coming out, but it's still just like what is going on. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm still going to read them, but I'm there for vibes because honestly, I don't know what's going on. But like, I'm not loving it as much as I thought I would, but I will still read them. Then I read At Your Age, E. Brown by Talia Hibbert, the final book in the Brown Sisters series, obviously following each sister. And in his one, we have Grumpy Sunshine, and she, E. Brown, the parents are like, you need a serious job, and then she drives by this like bread and breakfast, and it's like, hey, can I apply for this job? Because they had like a job opening there. And then he's like, no, you're not serious enough. And it's the whole thing. It's very cute, very adorable. I think the second one stands as my favorite still. But they like still like had really cute moments. And I really, really enjoy how these are written. And I really, really enjoy the whole series. So it was a good time. I think I gave it 3.5, rounding it up to 4. Then I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And this one follows this cafe where you can travel in time, but you need to have certain rules to follow to travel in time. So one of them is you need to sit in a certain seat, and another one is you have coffee, special coffee, and you need to drink it up before it gets cold or else something happens to you. And then we have these different characters that want to travel in time for different reasons, because when you travel in time, you only get like in the cafe where you're sitting. You get different reasons for why they want to travel. There's also like more to this. I just don't want to say everything because it's kind of fun to read it yourself. And they all like they don't really connect, but they all blend a bit together, and it was really, really nice and sweet story. It's apparently like a theater play, and I'm just like, dang, I want to watch that because I feel like it would look so cool. I feel like in my head, I feel like I know what they would do with it. Maybe I could watch it something on YouTube. But it was really fun, and I really, really liked it. I didn't know exactly what it was about. I just heard a lot of things about it, and I'm enjoying it so much. So I'm really happy about that. 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Beastars Volume 17 by Paru Itagaki. So this one follows this world where beasts don't eat each other anymore. There's a lot of politics around this, I was gonna say. And we follow this wolf, this scary big wolf, Legoshi, who is really like a soft heart, and then it's just his life. and a lot of things happening in this world, and I love it a lot. I love it dearly, actually. It's really fun. And now I'm closing a lot into the ends. I wonder how it'll end up, but it also ends up with like him falling in love with this bunny, and I'm like that is like the main part in the beginning of the story. So I'm just like, dang. And like a student getting killed. But that is such a long time ago that I kind of forgotten that was a plot. A lot of things going on here. Really, really enjoy. And yeah, I'm volume 17. And there's not that many left. I mean, there's a few left, but not that many. And I'm scared. Then I read You Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus, which is the only book on my TBR that had secret in the title for the Sword Challenge. And in this one, we follow these two twins that are going back to their mother's hometown, which then they'll like stay there. They're gonna stay with their grandma because the mother is in rehab. And in this place, we had two different people disappearing at different times. I'm trying to figure out like why, because now someone else disappears, and we have our main characters really interested in this and like trying to investigate into it. How successfully, you shall see, but stuff happens. And I was really actually interested in the mystery. I was really curious to see like why. And then the answers was like the most stupid shit ever. I'm just like, ugh. And it was the same one in One of Us is Lying. I hated the answers. Kind of just like shite. It's not complex enough for me. I don't know why, but it doesn't need to be. It just feel like, ugh. And I was like so curious and into it to that point. So now I'm just, why? I do still think I had a good time with it because like up to that point, I was like reading it and like trying to piece pieces together, but it's written in a way that even if you try to piece them together, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, it makes sense obviously, but because like it's written so that you will be surprised. Also, I read all these after one another, and can we talk about like the color scheme here? I'm just saying, like the color scheme, and these were like kind of right after one another. And that was totally random too. Then I finally read Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 5, which obviously contains Berserk. I posted a whole video where I read through this with spoilers and everything like that. So check it out. If you're interested, I'll leave a link down below. I'm doing that with every book in the series, but they are amazing. I cannot talk much about it, but it follows Guts, who is a swordsman, and he goes around killing these demons, trying to figure out why. And you do figure out why, and it's terrible. And it's one of the most amazing things I have ever read. 5 out of 5 stars. I love the whole thing so dearly. So that's what I got to say to that. And like just thinking about it, I want to cry because it's so good, but it's so sad. Then I read The War We Make by Anki Jemison, which is the sequel to The City We Became. And now it's only a duology, so I'm done with the series. And in this one, we follow like the characters after the first book. In the first book, everyone like turns into a borough in New York City, and every borough is like a person. I don't know, I can't explain things. Apparently I get kind of power of the city and try to fight off these things that is trying to stop the city from getting birthed. In this one, I think Anki Jemison uses the opportunity to even comment more on like how this society has become, at least in America. And she did a lot in the first book too, but here it's much more clear, I think. Or maybe I'm just smarter when I read it then. And I think she uses those elements really well. And I think it's interesting characters. I wish more things were developed. I wish we had more answers and seen more of this world, because I did really enjoy it. I think it's very original and cool. I ended up liking it. I didn't like this as much as the first one, but I still liked it a lot, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, which is obviously the final book in the Lost Hours series. And I have thoughts. I actually filmed the whole spoiler reading vlog for this, which I don't know will go up after before this, but I will leave a link down below if it has come out, or else you need to check that out later. But obviously not everyone will watch that spoiler vlog, because obviously in the end that's where I have all my thoughts. But overall, I love Cassandra Clare. I love this world, but I didn't love this. I just felt like it was very much like drama scene, talking scene, drama scene, talking scene, maybe some plot, drama scene, talking scene, and I was just like, okay. And just the whole plot and how they sell things, I was like, okay. But I do, in general, think that Cassandra Clare don't have the best series finals. But I still, like, enjoy the characters and stuff. But I just don't love some elements. Because some elements would how things happen here. Then some other parts just, why were they even in the book in the first place? So I'm just like, why? I wanted to love this so much. And I liked it, but I didn't love it. I think I gave it 4 stars, maybe. But I feel like it's maybe like a 3, even though I love some parts so much, and I love the characters. I just like felt how things were done was just not like the best. I don't know why. I can't review books. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Then I finished The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, which I also listened to audiobook with Erica. And obviously I'm reading this for Wheel of Time along. As I'm filming this, the live show has already been, so I will leave that link down below if you're curious to see our vibes and discussion for this. I still enjoy the series a lot. I really like this one. I feel like it builds a lot well on the first one, even though not a lot of stuff happens. The stuff that does happen I really like. I enjoy seeing the White Tower. I enjoy like stuff that happens in the end, which is a bit crazy, and I like also like the beginning a lot. Just the middle part, which is a bit slow and there's too much ran, but I still enjoy the series a lot, and I gave 4 out of 5 stars. My rating did not change for the first time around. I'm excited to continue. That was a great review. Goodbye. Then I decided to read Night Shadow by Sebastian de Castell. This is the second book in the Greatcoats series. The first book is called The Traitor's Blade, and it follows these Greatcoats was like the best fighters for the king, but then the king died and everyone like kind of blamed the Greatcoats and like they were terrible and like they have a really bad reputation now. But now the Greatcoats are back for reasons. I need to read the first one to find out. I personally didn't love the first one. I thought it was fine. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I was kind of bored and like didn't love the vibe of the story, I guess. Then I read this one, and oh my god, it was good. I did not expect to be blown away by this. I was reading this like, I was gonna say drooling because I couldn't close my mouth, and the things that happen and just how things played out and like the important plot twist is the kind of book I enjoy. It's literally like a scene where like everything is fixed in the last moment in a way, and it's also like, oh no, he was the bad guy, and then like, dun dun dun, no, that was the bad guy, dun dun dun, and then I turn, and it's just amazing. I cannot describe it. There's also just how things like went in that direction. I don't know how to describe it, but it was just so good. I've had such a good time. It was like a really strong 4-star read for most of the book, and then when I came to a certain scene, almost at the end, it like kind of broke me a bit because it was so sad but so good. And then it was like, okay, this is a 5-star book now. And then I gave it 5 stars. I gave a book 5 stars. Who does? And now I love it. And now I ordered the sequel. I don't know when I will read that, but I ordered it. And it was just so good. Oh my god. The emotions I had, like how it shocked me at every turn. Amazing. I really loved it. And I'm so pleasantly surprised because I didn't expect me to turn that around since like the first one, which I was like towards, and now I'm just very excited to continue. Just very happy, okay? And then decided, probably like everyone else, to reread A Darker Shade of Magic because Treasure of Power cover was released in March. I listened to the audiobook on this one. I never listened to the audiobook on this one. Only the second and third one, which I only read once as well. This is my 3rd time reading this one. So that was fun. I finished it, and I'm gonna try to read 2 and 3 maybe now this month. Maybe I need a break, I don't know. So this one is set in this world where we have 4 different Londons, and then we have Cal who can travel between them. He's kind of like a smuggler, and then he smuggles like a thing that he probably shouldn't have because a lot of shit happens after that. And that's a terrible description, but I assume most people have heard about A Darker Shade of Magic. And I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because I love the book series a lot. And it's dear to me. It's one of my favorites. So what do you expect? And then we had The Voyage of the Basilisk by Remy Brannan. This one is the 3rd book in the Memoirs of Lady Trans series, which is the series we are better reading now with my patrons. We better read one series, and this is our first one. And I am not loving the series as much as I thought I would end up doing. But after the light show we had for this, I'm just like, well, maybe I liked it more than I thought. It's just that the expectations are a bit different from what you think maybe the series is looking at it. But now I am kind of enjoying it more, thinking about it. It's still just 3 stars, but it's like, it's fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it. And I would recommend it, but it's just like, I thought I would like love them. But yeah, follows Lady Trans, who was like a female scientist in this world where there's no place for female scientists. She just needs to make her way. And she studies dragons and stuff. And this one we had a lot of focus on water, which I also really enjoy. It was like one of my favorite elements of the story. And I like them. And I want to continue the rest. Even though after the light show I said, oh, I need to continue the rest. But now I'm like, oh, I'm excited to continue the rest. Because the light show changed my mind a bit. Which is funny how light shows works. Yay. I tried for more books this month than I thought. So I just kept reading. I read Spear by Nicola Griffith. This is a Arthurian legend retelling. And it was a really good one. I, at the beginning, had a hard time getting into it because it's written a bit like, I was going to say special. And then I'm like, wow, what do I even understand this? But then I ended up really liking it. And when I got into it, I really liked like the kind of twists we got. I liked how it was written in the end. I liked how the stories came together. I liked the queerness of it and just the take on the legends. And I ended up really enjoying it. Gave it strong 4 out of 5 stars. Yay. Yay, yay. Not me failing again. Apparently I've forgotten to write up a book, which means that I have read 29 books, not 28. This was supposed to be on this much sooner, and again, then it's 29 books, and then I need to change all my graphics in my journal again. Either way, I did read Ancient Magus Bride by Kori Yamasaki, Volume 2. And I'm rereading these so I can continue the rest of the series. It follows Chise, who is kind of, I was going to say, bought by this dude to become his wife, but they're not really. She's more practicing magic than anything else. It's a bit weird, actually. I did end up, I think, liking the series much more the first time I read it, and I'm like, this is a bit weird, but I'm still liking it. But I only give it 3 stars. So just that. Then I read Bungo Stray Dogs Volume 14 by Kafka Sergei and Sanga Harukuba. One of my favorites was this detective agency where people have different abilities and they use them to like solve cases and fight this mafia. And to be honest, at this point, I don't remember what happens in the last volume when I read the next one. The whole story is just like everywhere. I don't know what's going on because it's like a full picture thing where you need a couple to like see a full picture. And I'm just like, what is going on? Who are we fighting? What are we doing? I don't know. I don't remember what happened in the last 2 volumes. But I'm there for the vibes only, apparently. I'm joking halfway. Like, I kind of course, remember. But I'm just like, what? But I am liking it. And I love them. So, yeah. But not enough Dasa in this one. Which is like the main reason I read them. Joking. It's not. Maybe like 50% of the reason I read it. The last book I read for the month, I decided to pick up because I needed more to read for like a day. So I picked up this Norwegian comic series called Nedi Dypet, or it's called Crypto, but this one's called Nedi Dypet, which means like down in the deep, by Hans Jørgen Sandnes. This one follows this girl Ophelia who moves into a new foster family, and then they're by the ocean, and she really likes like chronology, which is like creatures that are not real maybe, but she's like fascinated into them, and then find out they see monsters in the sea by them. Maybe stuff is happening to them that they need to figure out. It's really, really sweet. It actually had just had the best feel-good vibes, and I enjoyed it so much. It had some beautiful, adorable art. Obviously, like the easiest read in the world, but I just loved it so much. It was just the cutest thing in the world, and I did expect to like, but I didn't expect to like really feel it in my heart as I did. So, yay. I gave it like a strong 4 out of 5 stars. Really recommend actually if you're a Norwegian. And yeah, that is all the 29 books I read in March. I don't know why this kept happening. It happened last month as well, where I thought I read 27 until I realized there was a book I'd forgotten to read up again. I just need to not trust myself and my lists. Great job. But that is it for this video and the books I read. Yay. Thank you so much for watching. You should see me soon in a new video. Leave a water wave emoji down below if you enjoyed this. You should see me soon in a new one. Check out my Patreon down below if you want to support my channel further. And you should see me soon in a new one. Bye!